So just a note about these oranges. You know, when you look at a lot of this area, this seems to be the same color as the oranges that I'm beginning to introduce on the left hand side of this tree. But they're not. This is just yellow ochre and a bit of alizarin crimson and some titanium white. It looks very orange because it is adjacent to or juxtaposed against these deeper, darker colors. Over here, this is actually cadmium orange medium and a bit of white, basically. But because these are juxtaposed against other lighter colors, they seem to be sort of similar, right? So it's really the contrast of this against this, or this against this, or this against this, that makes it look fairly orange, but there's a lot surrounding it, right? So I guess that what I mean to say is that we have this area of yellowish orange that you know, you make a strong color. How do you make it stronger? You have to play all of your cards. You have to get into the cadmiums and the whites. But way over here, where it's this orange is against the green, and in a lower value area, you don't need to use cadmiums. If you do, you'll almost blind somebody. It'll just become too intense. Anyway, all right. So what I decided is, this tree is strong. You know, it's very vivid. Its outlining is left in a lot of places, as opposed to here where there's a lot of smudged strokes going on. And I just kind of felt that there's so much weight that if this was also of low value, the entire area, because this also is going to be low value, and this is as well, I almost ended up with two paintings. Cut it down the middle. This is all low value here and very heavy and solid, with the exception of some light here. And this is all very interesting and almost more detailed and almost more tapestry-like in its colors and its execution of strokes. So I need to marry those two ideas. Because this was dark also, that made a lot of weight here, and it just got back to here's a strong one, here's a strong one, even though it's getting weaker, and I'm still working on where I'm going to put maybe the odd branch. And of course we have this dark blob which can throw a wrench into your perspective, I suppose. Don't worry about that, I know what to do with it. So I'm putting in these lighter colors, these lighter values, and cutting down and cutting up, and I'll probably put in some darker values and some outlining as well, just to finish the edge, just to keep it interesting. Anyway, I'm just going to keep playing with that. It's just tonight I've put in a few colors here. I like them. I'm going to be playing with really high chroma, like cad yellow pale and cad orange medium and white. Just going to be putting in some speckles here and there to spread it out a little bit. I love that sort of that dappled light, but those strokes, those dappling strokes, have to be in exactly the right position. I don't have to worry about that yet because again that comes towards the end of the painting. But there has to be a volume in a certain area of light and of chroma that will help you to introduce the higher, the final strokes kind of thing. Anyway, I felt that there was so much intensity here, it behooved me to put a little bit more over here as well. Because, if we went from here, and this was sort of interesting, this was intense, and that was all kind of dark-ish, well, then I'm making more or less the third left-hand side of the painting kind of weak. Didn't want to do it. I didn't know I was going to do that earlier. I thought, okay, we were towards the edge of the painting. I think I mentioned in a video or two ago that we'll just keep it sort of nondescript. Thought that would work. But once I had all the information in here, and I have this information which is really vital, you know, this tree, it helped me to make the decision. You know, I could see it. I didn't have to just imagine it. I could see it, and I thought, no, we definitely need to have a little more interest over here, a little more congealing of identifiable objects. Once again, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna play with these, work on this bush and this little tree, and carry on. Well, this stream of visual consciousness. I know I tried a bunch of distraction techniques to try to draw people's away, or the viewers' eye away from this, but it's still just driving me crazy. You know, this bush trickling down and right on top of this tree, and we have this bit of connective tissue, so to speak. Can't deal with it. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. It has to go. There's no other way around it. It just has to go. Doesn't have to match the surrounding colors perfectly, but it has to perfectly be ignored. Ugh. Okay, come on. No. Okay, done deal. I think it helps immediately. It's very late, and I'm being stupid, but I know that had to go. I'm not a big fan of too much symmetry in a painting. So what we have right now is this couple of trees, but we have sort of generally a slope down like this. Now, of almost equal height, we have this one, and it's going to be, you know, or it would be another evergreen, and it's almost at the same height as this. Now we have this going on, so we have, you know, this sort of V shape. The distance between tree and edge is fairly similar in these two. I don't like that. I finished this area now. It helps to open it up a little bit. I thought it would be enough, but looking at it now, it's not. It's not enough to sort of, you know, keep things different on either end. So, oh, I need to paint in here yet, actually. But what I'm going to do is diminish this tree. I'm going to shorten it. I might even get rid of it completely. Just have some bush going off the edge of the canvas and bring this down. Also, this tree kind of lines up this way, which could be good or bad. I'm going to call it bad. So I'm going to just fiddle in here for a little bit. So one of the things I'm going to play with is this rock. It's a very long, strong line on the closest object in the painting. I want to break that up a little bit. I don't like it falling off like so. I want to shorten it. So I think what I'd like to do is add another one behind it. And by the time I've married this rock to this, I can obliterate a bit of this line, or at least it won't stand out quite as strong. Alright, now I'm going over it again for the moment, but I'm still planning on having them be two separate rocks. I don't know if it'll stay that way or not, but and I've got a little bit of ultramarine blue and raw umber and a bit of linseed oil, but still including a little bit of turps just to thin it off because I want to wash this in dark. I don't want I prefer not to lay in these gray paints over top of the purplish undercoat there. This was quite dark when I painted over it. I want that to be dark too. So just looking at that, I'm happier with it immediately. I have this huge area here, you know, it's so strong. The biggest tree, the closest evergreen, the biggest rock, the largest hill. I'd like to make it a little more delicate so that I think will bring it in tune a little bit with the right hand side of the painting where I have all kinds of objects. So I guess we'll start with cutting into this tree, because yeah, I think that has to be made less important. What do I go with? I don't think I'm going to stay with these. Well, yeah, maybe for the time being I could. Okay, so that would be yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, bit of ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, and yellow ochre. There we go. Every now and then the brain stops. Gotta kick it into gear again. It's too low a value, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna raise the value of that a little bit. A little more yellow ochre, a little more alizarin crimson. Am I too dirty? It's a bit dirty. Okay, more yellow ochre and more alizarin crimson. I'm not too worried about a perfect color match between here and here right now, because I'm going to incur in this area a little bit with some more intense colors. It's too bad because I like this little tree. But unfortunately, I think the rest of the painting doesn't like it. Okay, still too dirty. I'll just take a little bit of yellow ochre and white and alizarin crimson, never mind any blue. And bring that down a little bit. The thing I like the least is the height. It's just really got to come down a notch. let's work our way down the tree. And because I'm not 100% sure, for the moment I'm going to pretend this is the top branch. And I may reduce it further, but right now, that's how I'm looking at it. Okay. Trying to keep the shapes interesting as I go here. Yeah, that's an improvement. Alright, this is... that's too strong. There. I just added a branch to this tree trunk. Okay. Let's re-establish that trunk going down. Okay. Okay, stand up. Stand up, back up, and have a look. It is, in my opinion, already a bit of an improvement. One of these has got to drop quite a bit. I was thinking this one, but I'm not sure. I just sort of put a few strokes in, form an opinion. Put a few strokes in, revisit that opinion. And thus it will go for this area. I'm pretty confident this is good. I may end up introducing a little more light, you know, on the edge of this rock, and maybe a little bit up here. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, you get what I'm doing with that. Well, as much as I did like this little tree, it has to go. It's still bothering me, so the sooner I get rid of it, the sooner I'll forget about it, and it won't be a problem. So let's see here, we'll go in. I'm going to have to do a little work here as well and here, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. You know, there are a number of things that need to be done on the painting, and that's fine. I'll do those off camera, and next time we see each other, or the next time you see the painting rather, it will be finished. Or, you know, at least ready to come upstairs and live with me. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. I want that gone. Reduced to shrubbery. I need to keep my strokes looking fairly strong. It's kind of hard when you're going wet and wet, or even over previously painted, over areas that have been previously painted with the knife. So it's a little harder to keep your strokes looking strong, but that's okay, we'll manage. Let's see here. Go a little bit purple. Is that too light? No, I think that's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Getting that smearing it on my freshly painted new trunk. Don't want to do that. Let me just stand up and have a look at that. Yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. Oh, let me just point this over here for the moment. So when I go into a painting, as the painting progresses, as it gets later in the production of a painting, I do a lot more backing up and having a look and doing various small bits here and there. In order to catch everything on camera, there would be a lot of dead spots in my filming. For me to correct that would require a lot of editing. I'm not willing to do that. That chews up your time like crazy. You know, my time is devoted to painting, not to YouTube. I'm happy to do this, but I have to keep it simple. Another thing, where I live, and I was reminded of this the other day again, sometimes I can put out a 10-minute video, but due to the unreliable level of broadband where I live, 10-minute video has taken hours to upload and process. So if I'm having a bad a bad day of broadband and I produce a half an hour or a 45-minute video, it'll tie up the computer most of the day. The computer can process fairly quickly, but when you have the computer processing, plus my wife uses the same computer, we have Wi-Fi in the house, so we have several devices going off it. It really slows things down. It kind of hinders everybody else's use, right? Or other uses for the computer, rather. So that's why I kind of stick to half an hour, maybe a little more at the longest. And it's just easier all around. It's much easier all around to do things that way for me. So sorry for being too selfish. Anyway, so I think I'm just, you guys have already given me the green light, really, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing for the most part. I might not have videos every day anymore. I might just tone it down and do more on weekends. We'll see. But back to the painting, it's coming fine. I think I'm going to have a little bit of light here as well. This stump is okay. It looks a little too much like a fold of laundry or, a curtain. It needs to look more like wood. This looked like I just didn't quite know what to do. So I was just mentioning how these have to appear strong, these strokes. But look how weak these are, and right in around the focal area too. So I have to sort of reassert myself in some of these areas. And then I'll put the odd branch here and there. But all these things are going to take me standing back for a while and assessing and looking at things, and sometimes moving on to something else and then getting back to this painting after a day or a few hours or what have you. As I've mentioned, I don't put everything I do on YouTube, and I'm not going to. So most of the projects I work on are on YouTube, but sometimes I'll just do something off camera, and frankly I prefer to paint in total isolation, and that includes a camera. And it includes a camera not being there. So anyway, please don't take it as a rant. It's probably more of a whine. I'm probably being very repetitive here. Thanks for your comments regarding that. And yeah, like I say, the next time you see this, it'll be finished. And after that, I have a 24 by 36 that I'll be playing with very soon. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend.